Hey folks, today we're at the Wings Over the Rockies Air and Space Museum here in Denver, Colorado, and behind me is their F-14 Tomcat. So I thought I'd bring you here and let's have a little closer look. Alright, I thought this was pretty neat. They seem to have a catapult shuttle. So I don't think I've ever seen one like this. I think it might be a real one, but it looks pretty neat. And they've got the intake all lit up, so that's good for modelers to get a reference to what an F-14 intake looks like. So it looks like it's pretty much white from just after that box section back. And if we walk around the front here, looking down the gun, you can see there's that little sort of teardrop cutout for the firing barrel. And then they've got the M61 Vulcan. Looks pretty neat. And it looks like there's a big sparrow over there. And if we make our way around, I'll try and get they've got this neat board here too, so it's very similar to the boots I've got at home. And they've got this neat aircraft carrier landing simulator here, so we'll give that a go. I have had one go at this, I didn't do very well, but so the idea is you grab this handle and pull it up, and it releases the hook, and then you've got to try and catch the 3-wire. No way! Alright, so for all you real world guys out there, I just got the 3-wire. Second attempt. I'm claiming that, that's brilliant. Alright, so then you just reset it for the next person, obviously. So we're going to quit while we're ahead. I'm not going to attempt that again because I really don't think I'll be able to pull that off twice. So this one's in much better condition, obviously, but I believe for the people that commented on how sad it was how the Top Gun Maverick F-14 looked, that was at Gillespie Field in San Diego. But that one, the plans for that one are they're going to repaint it. They've got a big hangar there where they're working on things, so they're going to repaint it. And I believe it's going on the pole outside of their Air and Space Museum, which I did go and look at. They have a big SR-71 on a pole there, and I believe the SR-71's coming down, and they're going to put the F-14 on that pole. I had a look at this Bureau of Aeronautics number, and this aircraft seemed to have deployed with VF2 originally, but then it seemed to be involved in a lot of test squadrons and paint testing and stuff, so it didn't really see much combat, I don't think, or anything after that. They've got this big cooling fan here for people like me that get a bit heated up when they see an F-14. And there's the checker tails paint scheme. And this one's really neat. It's got the around here, they've got a big light in the exhaust, so you can sort of see, I guess, all the afterburner rings and everything detail, which looks pretty neat. It's awesome that they did that. So the great thing about this museum is they've got this upper mezzanine area, so you can sort of see over the tops. There's an EA-6 Prowler, there's a big B-1 bomber there, and an F-111. See those little doors? Well, so looking at the anti-slip tape or the non-skid tape either side of on the intakes there, the dark patches, like we're talking about, that's there as part of the original paint scheme, but you'll notice on the intersections close to the fuse, we saw tape there for rooster. And then down on the back here, you'll notice that on a normal F-14, it doesn't have those two bits of non-skid tape on the tail and on the fuse there. That was just put there for the movie. And like I said, for years, I didn't know what that was. And then it was finally answered. So yeah, looking at, you don't often get to sort of see on the top here like this, so this is pretty neat. So there's the air brake there, and then it has two lower sections that come down as well. And then obviously there's our fuel dump pipe. And I think that's like a little ECM pod antenna on the back there next to the fuel dump. And then of course the engines and the tails. And then those up there, you can see that there is the little grates on the inboard, the two. Those are, I believe, ECS, environmental cooling system, like air conditioning outlets. And then either side of that, those big doors, those are what we were pointing out on the Top Gun Maverick one. They were the ones that the intake, so when the aircraft is supersonic, big ramps lower down in the intake to create shock waves to slow down the air going into the engine, because the engine doesn't like to have supersonic airflow into it. And so I think excess air gets dumped out over those. I believe that's the case. And then you can see that big sort of wing where it's all those little sort of feathered edges and sliding bits. And then that pneumatic bag I was explaining about, if you look where the wing is, so you can see the wings compress that bag fully. You can sort of see it there. So as the wing goes out, that bag inflates to fill up that area and make it more aerodynamic. It's a pretty neat system. I used to work with a guy that worked on those, and he said it was really hard to change one of those bags. They had to get a lot of people to help weight it down. And there's your big tailplanes, and you can see all the little spoilers there. And then those spoilers obviously help with roll, but also I'll see if I can put a clip of that roll I was talking about, that snap roll in the original Top Gun, so you can see the spoilers come up and the tails twist. But then they also work for direct lift control when they're landing aboard the ship. Those little spoilers will pop up a tiny bit, and then they'll use a thumb wheel on the stick to control the spoiler, either retraction or extension, to adjust their position on glide slope. So yeah, that's pretty neat. You don't often get to look down on an F-14 like this. This is really exciting. I wasn't expecting to see this. Have a look. It's a MiG-23 Flogger. This is the first time I've ever seen one in real life. This is pretty cool. I've just been listening to a lot of CJ Heatley interviews, and he flew for Constant Peg, which is that program they had at Area 51 where they had a bunch of captured Soviet aircraft. And they had the MiG-23, but he just said he didn't like to fly this one because he said it was didn't turn very well. He said it was super fast, super high. He said, but it wouldn't turn very well. And he said, I think it was a bit of a hangar queen. He said that it broke down a lot. So I think he mostly flew MiG-17, MiG-19, and he set up to 5 hops a day. Yeah, but this aircraft, I mean, it looks pretty cool. And if you remember that dogfight, I think I mentioned it, the VF-32 Swordsman in 1989. They shot down 2 of these, 2 MiG-23s over the Gulf of Sidra. So this is, yeah, pretty exciting. Look at this thing. So it's a sweep wing aircraft like the F-14, and it was a contemporary, I guess, to the F-14. It was around the same time, but I think the F-14 was a much superior aircraft to this. Oh look, they've got the engine all lit up the same as the Tomcat. Sorry, I'm really geeking out now. This is a really welcome surprise. I almost went to see one of these, I think it was in France. They had one at De Gaulle, but it was just a big day and I wasn't feeling very well. Oh, and that's neat, I just remembered that. So that I built models of these, and that fin there, that's a massive ventral fin. I don't know why it needed so much longitudinal stability. It's got a huge tail, but that fin would fold down when it was airborne, and then fold up obviously for ground clearance when it was on the ground landing. And that's its air brakes there. That big panel there comes out. And yeah, this is just really cool. So you can see there, the wing doesn't go over the top like it does on the F-14. It actually goes into the fuse. Sorry, I'm just geeking out. And the undercarriage, look at it's such a different design. I don't know if you can get around the other side. It looks like there's stairs over there, but I don't think you can get around the other side. Wow, is that the gun? Look at that. Looks like it's angled down quite a bit, so I'm not sure how good that would be for air-to-air. But yeah, it definitely looks like it's more of an air-to-ground gun. And there's the intakes. Wow. Give me one sec, I've got an idea. I think we might be able to see into the cockpit. Maybe you just have to ask nicely. There are steps over there. But I got an idea, give me one sec. Alright, I've got the camera on the stick and I'm zoomed in. So let's see if we can see up there into the cockpit. Oh, kind of. Not really. That's probably a huge epic fail, but I guess there's a bit of a shot of the top. Probably not that exciting. Can you see anything? Could be an epic fail, but hopefully we saw something there. All right, we'll try again looking at the seat without all the backlighting. Yeah, I really hope we get one of these in DCS. I know they're probably not the most high-performing Soviet aircraft, but they're just such a legendary Cold War jet. I've just noticed as I was sort of checking out all these details, there's actually a documentary here. I think this guy might have flown them at one point, and he's doing a cockpit tour. Looks like it's all that beautiful Russian blue. All right. Okay, well this might be the end of the video. Oh, I forgot about this. See this leading edge has this big jag on it. That's neat. I'm assuming it's for, actually I don't know what it's for, but I'm assuming it's vortice generation, but I don't know. If anyone does know what this is for, it's a really neat part when you build a model of these. You know, it's a really, really cool, aggressive looking part of the wing. So yeah, if anyone knows what that's for, please let us know.